Hello and welcome. Sorry about the delay today. I had a thing pop up at work where I was needed to jump on a call, but I am here. I am ready. Let's get ready to rumble, I guess. Want to give a quick hello to my daughter who started watching me. Hello, Eva May. I've got your Father's Day picture up in the background. It is awesome. Thank you. So, today we are going to start looking at the product service. So if we come over to Notion quickly, we can come down to our catalog service here, which is kind of, I suppose, the products. And what I'd like to look at here is what would make a good product service. It's a catalog service. We want to be able to look up things quickly, right? We're going to have something in the back end where we're managing this, adding records, but when we're looking at products, we want it to be fast. So I was thinking maybe setting up something like Laravel Scout would be quite cool. If we could set up Laravel Scout so that we're listing and reading from Laravel Scout, so we've got like that fast read database going on. Just quick searches, quick filters. It could be quite nice, quite cool. What I'll start with doing is the product modeling for the catalog service, and then we'll come back to, okay, so how could we best do this? So, data modeling time. Let's come over to here. Let's grab client. We're going to copy that. We're going to paste it in again, and we're going to call this catalog. Catalog, hopefully spelled correctly, because there's so many different ways to spell it. American English. Australians probably have their own way. Yeah, these things happen. What I will do, wait for that to copy. So what I think would be super cool is using something like Mailysearch. Using Mailysearch, I would have to use Scout. Configuration, I think, using Mailysearch would be so cool. Let's just start up OrbStack and get Docker up and running quickly so that things can work. I don't know why it keeps asking this. Oh well, I'm not too fussed about that right now, if I'm honest. Wait for that to finish doing what it's doing. Data modeling. So it uses observers. That's fine for what we need. We could set that up. We can make it searchable. Driver prerequisites, we'll use Mailysearch. We'd have to use that. That would be fine. I think this would be really good. It'll really enable us to have some quick search going on for that service. Make it nice, make it fun. So we'll have like a read database using Mailysearch and a write database using Eloquent and whatever database we end up using through that. Kind of cool, if you ask me. Let's go check up on PHP Storm, see where we got to. We got it. So we are gonna open this up in a terminal. We are going to call this catalog over here. Git status, that is all of that new stuff. So git add, git commit, and we are starting the catalog service. So if we come over to catalog here, what we want to be doing is catalog. All of this is still fine. SQLite is our preferred one there. That is all good. Identity database is still going to be that prefix. If we come down to our roots API, we're not going to have all of this stuff. We're going to have something else. So we'll fill in the prefix and clients a little bit later. Let's do a quick cleanup of all the stuff that we did start to create over here. Payloads, don't need that. delete it anyway. Request, don't need that. Resources, don't want that. Come over to the models, client, company, member, order item, go. We're keeping user because I've noticed that it can break things quite quickly. Oh, lots to clean up. Lots and lots of cleanup. We don't like that, do we? Yeah, we'll delete that. Commands. Delete those. Services. Authorization will keep. Queries. We will delete. Database, factories. We will just go ahead and delete all of those. Delete them anyway. Migrations. We can just delete all of these. Cedars, we don't do anything in. Database, we're going to delete and regenerate that one. Delete it anyway. Tests, delete that. So then over here, let's just do a quick composer bump, composer update. This is doing some updates. So what we need first is, it belongs to a supplier, warehouse, and category. So we need a category, we need a warehouse, and we need a supplier all first. That is good for me. Okay, so let's start with making a model. The model we will start with is supplier. We want a migration and a factory. Then we will want to do the warehouse. Then we want to go create a category. Eventually, we'll come back and want to create a product. So now that all of that stuff is there, we can start looking at how we want to model this data. So declare some script types. Make it static with a return type of void. UL ID, ID, primary. So suppliers, what do we want for suppliers? A name, website, and a reference. The reference is an internal reference or a reference that they give us, which we can then add on as a, I don't know, purchase order reference, for example. That's a perfect example. So supplier has a name, table, string. Supplier is going to have a website. I mean, the website stuff, it's more for back officey stuff. And table, string, reference. And we'll make this unique because it really should be. Has many products, not a big deal. So let's come down to the supplier. Let's just start building this out. Nobody said anything yesterday about wanting to try something other than Laravel, so I'm just going to carry on with Laravel unless I heard otherwise. So our supplier is over there. Let's change our view a little bit. So we want a supplier name. We can just set this as a company name. This Faker company website. Why do I always spell website wrong? I've been building them for so long. We'll just do a URL. And then a reference. We are just going to do this Faker IMEI, something random that we won't need anywhere. So we can come over to our supplier. We can tell it that it has ULIDs. Supplier should probably have an email. This should also be unique. So we'll add that in as well. This Faker unique email, company email. Come over to here. So then we can add use notifiable. Start with fillable stuff. So name, website spelled correctly, email, and reference. Somewhat simple, but that's all we need it to do. We do not need anything more than this for our supplier right now. It is an admin focused bit of data, not something we care about from a kind of day-to-day perspective. What I'm going to do, I'm going to hide my beard and face. It's been nice seeing you. Let's focus on the code. So we got a supplier, name, website, email, reference. That is all we need. Let's move on. Next up, we have got a warehouse. So what does a warehouse need other than strict types? Let's just clean this up to Steve standard quickly. Right, our warehouse needs a name and a location. Table, string, what is our warehouse's name? Let's add a JSON column down here for the address. We will make this nullable. Table, string, who is the warehouse manager? Table, string, email, unique. Yeah, who do we contact to talk to things about that? You know, if there's an issue with a warehouse, who gets emailed, who should be notified, all that good stuff. Yeah. That should be it for the warehouse, really. It's not a huge logic piece. It is more of a kind of a useful piece for the background, if anything. So let's make that final class. Declare some strict types. Assign the model. Hey, assign the model when I can learn to type again. Wow. So we have got a name. Then we will just say this faker. We're just going to like say city dot something. It doesn't really matter. Manager, we're just going to say this faker name. Just want a person at this point. Email. This faker unique email for a company. And address. What are our options for an address? This faker. We get an address as a string. That, what we could probably do for now is just something like an explode based on a, I'm assuming it's going to have a comma. And yeah, address, string address. Generator address. Lots of addressy stuff. Here's our generator. Get attribute faker PHP. Cool formatters, random number, random float, lots of random randoms. Blood types, file extensions, MIME types. Where is it loading address information from? That's what I want to know. Is it going to give it me in a comma? We may have to just come over to the browser and go to faker PHP. Let's go have a look. Formatters. Available formatters, address. This will give us an address. It will have commas. All of that just to see if we're going to have commas. Oh, okay. So there's the address. That is all we need from there. So we can go to here, say use has ULIDs, use notifiable. The fillable stuff is name, manager, email, address. We want to be able to cast things. So the address is going to be cast as an array object, as array object, which is a built-in eloquent cast, which is perfect for this. Morning, I bit the bullet this morning. I set up Forge with DigitalOcean server to get me started. Now to write the code. You do that. Well, that sounds fantastic. Let us know how you get on. So nothing else here needs casting, really. I mean, we could extend this, add a status like, is this warehouse full? Is this warehouse, offline? We'll add that just for fun. String status. We're going to have a default. Let's go create that default. Come over to enums. Warehouse status. It's an enum. This is going to be a string. Case online. Case closed. Case full. Yeah, you might end up looking at something like this in the future for kind of managing the dispatches of stuff from suppliers. So you're going to route things specifically. So for this, we'll just come to here. We'll say this is after email, company email. Then we'll just say status is going to be warehouse status online. That's what we care about there. Then add this in here as well. Then we can probably add it above that because it's cleaner and like order. Warehouse status. There we go. That's our warehouse done at this point. Next up, we need category. Now, category is super simple. It's got a name and a description. This isn't an e-commerce store. This is, an industrial style thing. So we're only ever going to have one category. So category name, table text, description. This is likely going to be used for generating some sort of product catalog, which we send out to our clients so they can then do orders through their orders department. Anyone who's ever worked in an industrial kind of warehouse style thing before will understand this part. So category status is that string. We're going to have a case for, and this is an active category. We know that we are using this one. Case inactive, currently not active, but it isn't discontinued. So we can kind of eventually look at this sort of thing where, we discontinue a category which discontinues that specific product lines and all that sort of stuff. So the default here is a category status active. we want to make sure we have a default value for that. So let's move this over to here. Let's go look at our category factory. Category factory for the factory that we're building categories for. That's just a lot to think about. Right, model. Let's look at category. Here, we got a name. Name. Can we do like this faker industry or something? No. Fakers, company, any specific company cool stuff that we can get. Address, company, job title, catchphrase. We'll use company catchphrase. That could be a fun one. Let's see if that actually works though. So there's a name. The status is going to be category status active. The description is going to be this faker paragraph. And that is all we need for the category. Nice and simple. That is all good to go. We can declare that. This has ULIDs. Then we can go fillable is name. Name, status, description. Casts, all we've got is the, again, status, which then points to the category status. That's all that needs. That is all that needs. So now we can finally get around to the product, which is why we are here. Caring about products. So declare strict types. Delete all of this. And what we'll do is we'll walk through this in a little bit more detail. So ULID, ID, primary. Our product itself. We're going to have a name, description, price, cost, weight, dimensions, status, and quantity. So every product needs a name. That is somewhat obvious. It's a product name. It's how we reference it. We have a description so that people know what they are buying. It's nullable. That's fine. Then we have a price table. What we'll do is an unsigned big integer for the price. We're going to default that to 0. Again, we've got a cost. Oops. How much how much are we charging it out at? How much did we buy it in at? Then we've got the weight. How much does this product weigh? We are looking at industrial or warehouse style products where a product weighs 20 kilos, which means that we know we can only ship 30 of them in a specific size container, maybe. Right, then we've got dimensions. So table, JSON, dimensions, make that nullable. That's about right. Dimensions. The status. Table. String. Status. Again, default. Go make the enum. Product. Status. It's an enum. String. Did I say anything about that there? No. So the status could be case in stock. It's in stock. Case sold. out, sold out, case on order. You know, I'm not going to go too in detail, but the default is going to be in stock. But it means that we can start to build workflows where when an order happens, so let's say someone orders a product which decreases the amount of stock we've got, and that puts us out of stock. We then need to trigger a status to say this is now out of stock. Oh, that's a lot of words. Quantity. How many quantities do we have in stock? You know, what is our count? How much do we have in stock? I mean, I could change that to stock level or amount. We'll call it stock. Stock makes sense. Then what we also need to be able to do is table the foreign. Oh God, my typing is not working right now. So we're going to have a supplier, warehousing category. So category ID, we want to index that. It should be constrained to the categories table. And if the category is deleted, we don't want to delete the product. We want to null on delete. So that means we have to make this nullable. That makes sense, right? We're not going to discontinue a product just because we've discontinued a category. It could move to a new category. We need that level of control. Then we're going to want the supplier ID. Now, if we delete a supplier, does that mean we're deleting the product? No, it means we're probably going elsewhere. And then finally, the warehouse ID. If we delete a warehouse, it doesn't mean we're deleting the product. We could be moving to a bigger warehouse. Yeah, we need to think of these things when we're building this out. So next up, we've got the product factory. So let's move our migration over there. Declare some strict types. Delete the default stuff that we always delete. Add the stuff that we always add. Usually I would go through and add stubs, customize my stubs, but I can't be bothered right now, if I'm honest. This faker, I don't know. We're just going to say word. We're going to give it a random word name. Status is product status in stock. Description is going to be this faker paragraph again. Price. What we want to do is we want the price to be this faker number between. So the first number that we might want this to be could be, I don't know, let's say 1,000. And int 2, let's say our top price is going to be 10,000. So our cost is going to be how much, you know, what do we want to kind of default to on our kind of our markup? Well, we want to take the price. That's how much we're charging it out at, and we kind of want to get a percentage of that one. I don't think there's any nice helpers in Laravel to do percentages, so we might have to do this manually. But the biggest problem that we might find is that we are an unsigned big integer. So that means we will not support floats, which means we will have to round. Oh, I've mostly done this in Python, Go, and JavaScript. We can round. Precision will be to 0. That's fine. Round half up. That's perfect. What we want to do is round the number which is likely going to be. Let's get the price. This is how much we are paying for it. that is that part. We're going to say we want to say we're making 45% markup. Let's say we're going to times it by 65. We want to take the price, get 65% of that price as our cost. So we're making 35% markup on every item. That's what we care about there. Now, weight. This can be a random number, really. So we'll do a number between again, and the int 1 is going to be, let's say, it's in kilos, and our biggest is, I don't know, 5,000. We want somewhere in between there. Dimensions. Ooh, dimensions. Spell it correctly, please, Steve. So we will have a height. We will have a width. And we will have a depth. Now, this is where we're looking at shipping eventually. I love writing numbers this way. It makes sense. For me, I can, as soon as I get to like millions, billions, trillions, it starts to, you don't have to look at counting. You could just look and it just works really well for my brain. So height-wise, this is going to be in centimeters because it'll be the smallest unit we want. What we will do is we'll just go size equals this number between, this faker number between. What we are going to do is, let's say cost. Is that? There's our cost. This faker number between int 1, so 100 centimeters int 2, 1,000 centimeters. And what we're going to do, let's just randomly, times that by the cost. And then we're just going to do size. So it's just a cube. So dimensions, then we want the category. So category ID, we can just say category factory. Supplier ID, the supplier factory, and then our final one, warehouse ID, warehouse factory. And that is all of that done. Over to our product model, declare some script types, make this final. Yes, I'm probably going to end up using third-party library like Brick to handle the price and the product over just regular casting. I'm about to get to that, actually. So, fillable. We have got, zoom right to the top. We've got a name. We've got a status. We've got a description. We've got a price. Cost, a weight, stock level. I don't think I added that to the factory. Dimensions. Why do I automatically put T? Category ID, supplier ID, warehouse ID. Let me go back to the factory quickly. Cost, weight, dimensions, cost, price, cost, weight, stock, this faker number between, we're going to have between 0 and 100 items in stock. So come down to our casts. The first cast that we need to think about is our status, is our product status. The next thing we need to look at is we'll do dimensions first. This will be as array object for now. Eventually, we'll change that cast to be something like a custom cast, which is expecting certain properties and all that good stuff. Don't need to worry about casting. Wait, not going to worry about casting. We'll come back to casting for that. And these two, cost. We need a new cast. So, make cast money cast. So we will have price as a money cast, and we will have cost as a money cast. So if we come to the money cast itself, I don't know if this comes with money pre-installed. Or do we have to? No, we're going to have to install that. So, Composer require brick money. Probably installed this before. There's our money handler. So when we get it out of database, out of database, money of the amount is going to be the value, and of currency, I'm just going to default this to GBP. I just want to return a money object. Return money. Add a throws tag. Don't know why it doesn't do this automatically. And so any of those, rounding exception, number format exception, blah, 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 all good. Right, so when we set it, we don't need to do anything when we're setting it. We're only ever going to kind of read it and change it. When it's written, it's always going to be done. Actually, is it? So at this point, value is likely to be a money object for now. We're just going to assume. So let's say money get amount to int. We're going to do something like this. Add a throws tag, math exception, no problems. Cool. So that is all of that. Let's migrate. Yep, create it. Fantastic. I read somewhere that it's better to fill guarded if you want to block fields and not fill fillable, because you put almost everything in there to have less to manage. I personally like having everything listed in here. It means you don't have to look at the database. You don't have to look at anything. You can just come back to here. I don't have to come over here and go, oh, let's look at my database. I can just go, cool. This is perfect. This works. And that just works for me. That's my preferred way of doing it, to be honest. What tables are in this? Migrations orders. This is the client's database. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to rename this to clients. I'm going to add another data source for SQLite again. This one this time is going to be services catalog database SQLite catalog. Apply and go. So then we've got those two there. Main tables. We've got all of these things. I mean, users are going to be everywhere. We're not going to use them though. Personal access token is not needed. We aren't completely cleaning up. This is more about, let's look at creating some microservices, right? So there's our catalog. That's all of that. What I will do is go to the Cedar, database Cedar. What we want to do, we just want some products, right? We don't need two of those. Database Cedar, over that. What we want is we want a product factory count create. Let's say we want 10 to start with. This command can't use components. With progress bar, total steps 10, callback. Is this going to work? Let's check. ADB seed. Nope. Get them out and int. So that's coming back as an int. That is fine. So we can go to that money cast. And I wasn't sure if this would work, but there we go. This is indeed an int. So let's go. Seed and database. Come over to our catalog, tables, products. We've got 10 products, currently all in stock, random names, prices, different dimensions, categories, suppliers, all looking good. We've got something that we can start with. So we want to think about how we're going to work with this. And what we spoke about was using Laravel Scout, which is, is going to create a really good option for us, I think. So let's get installing it. For this, let's just move Notion out of the way so we can quickly jump between the two. Right, come over to here. We are on the catalog, clear and install. That is installing. Let's just copy and publish that. Driver prerequisites. We are going to use Mailysearch. Close that. Come down to my Docker Compose down here. Where's Mailysearch? MySQL, Redis, Mailysearch. Just going to grab that. Come over to here. Come to our Docker. Add a new service. So what we're going to have is networks, is warehouse, volumes, is warehouse, Mailysearch data, that, get Mailysearch latest, test, all good. So let's come back to here and say Docker compose up -d. Let's see if that will build it all. This is coming from something I'm working on at work. We're going to use Mailysearch for something. Let's chuck it in there. Let's see if it's going to work. Exciting stuff. I'm going to have a drink while that does that. My nice Ribena in a Gatorade bottle. That is all installing. So let's see what we need. We need this. We're going to need this in our EMV for our catalog. So EMV all the way down here. But in reality, could we not add this to all of them eventually? Quite likely. I'm going to add it to all of these for now. Close all of that. So we have got Mainly Search and Redis up and running. Fantablastic. Mainly Search PHP. I should have ran that. Can't remember if I did. Yes, I did. So I need to configure Scout at this point. So catalog, env, Scout driver, Mainly Search, using that and that. Come over to our app, models, product, use searchable. And then if we come back to the docs, queuing, yes, queue, true. Yeah, we're going to want to queue stuff. Connection Redis, yeah, all good. We can find the queue config. What I might do quickly as well is composer require dev, as you know, not the dev, Laravel Horizon. Ooh, spelt it wrong. What a surprise! I can't spell. Right, configuring model indexes, searchable as, configuring searchable data. This is what I care about. So we need to add all the foreign keys to this quickly, all the relationships. Sorry. So public function category. This belongs to a category. So we can say return this belongs to. Ooh, I have got a meeting in 20 minutes. So let's fire through this. The related is the category. Foreign key is category ID. What am I doing? ID. Jesus, Steve, come on. Okay, so here we can just say products. So public function products has many. Return this has many. Related is a product. Foreign key is category ID. I'm trying to touch type to get it done quickly. Supplier, so public function supplier belongs to return this belongs to. Related is a supplier and the foreign key is supplier ID. Move to supplier, public function products as many. Return this has many. Related is product. The foreign key is the supplier ID. So you don't actually have to do it like this, by the way. I like to do it like this. Zoom in a little. It makes it very readable, very understandable. You're not questioning anything. It is all there. Even though it's a default, it is still there. So let's go in and do the warehouse next. Warehouse, which warehouse is this in? It belongs to a warehouse. Return this belongs to the related is a warehouse. Foreign key is going to be warehouse ID. If we come to warehouse, we can say that this warehouse contains many products. Oh dear, round and round we go. Where we stop, nobody knows. So, related product. The foreign key is going to be warehouse ID. So, that is all done, so I can close the others. This needs to be searchable. So we've got searchable over there, to searchable array. What we want to do here is public function to searchable array. This should return an array. So we need the ID. There's no doubt about that one. Next, our product has name, cost. It's got literally all of this. We want pretty much all of this to come through. So name. That. So let's just grab that, copy, status, description, price, cost, weight, stock, dimensions. God, I've really messed up that spelling. Okay, so category. This will end up being an array. So this will have a name. That's all we care about for the category when we're searching. This category, get attribute. Name, supplier, name, this category, this supplier, get name, and then the warehouse name, this warehouse, get attribute name. So let's go have a quick look at supplier. We're going to drop in their reference as well. Never know when that might be useful. You know, take the example of I am trying to find a specific product. I know a supplier reference code. I can search a lot quicker using that. And then a warehouse. I don't know, let's say that's probably all I'm going to do for that. So that is all of that. That should work. So now if I migrate fresh, tack on a seed, yeah. Hopefully that worked. I'm pretty sure Search has something you can. Here we go. We've got all of our products: price, amount and currency; cost, amount and currency; dimensions, category, supplier, warehouse. Oh, beautiful! We can now implement with this really nicely. We don't need an image. It hasn't got an image. You can always pass. No, I don't want to pass foreign keys. I want to, because this is going to be a microservice. We want quick lookups. That is the key here. So let's say we want to get all products through the API. That is quite likely. So let's come to the API. Let's say products products. The most likely scenario is we are going to be sending over some form of search with filters, right? So root get all products name index done. So a make controller products index controller invocable. This goes to that index controller. Orders, clients, products, go. Simplify. Declare some strict types. Get rid of that. Final. So what we could probably do here is, what can we do with mainly search? That's what we want to know at this point, right? We could do all of that, configuring filterable data and index settings, mainly search, index settings, sortable, filterable, key, host, all of that stuff we can kind of play with. Scout sync, configuring the model ID, configuring search engines per model. Pretty sure I committed that part. I added that to the docs because I needed it. Identifying users. It's got to be a nice way that I can do stuff. Modifying the import query. I think that is only, oh no, that is make all searchable using, if you'd like to modify the query that it is to retrieve all of your models for batch importing, you may define a make all searchable on the eager. Aha! So we need to come to our product, come back down to the searchy stuff, make all searchable using. This should return a builder. Return query with category, supplier, and warehouse. That speeds that up. Why is that under declining? Cool. Jobs. That does it. Adding a record, not a problem. Adding records via query. Updating, no big deal. Modifying records. Removing them. Pausing indexing. Conditionally searching. We're going to want all of them. So searching. This is what we care about at this point. Custom indexes. Where clauses. So, I mean, a lot of what we're going to want to do here is going to be relatively basic. So let's just focus on I don't know. We can say products equals product query. Or can we just jump straight into the search? Search whether query is request get search or an empty string paginate. And for now, we're just going to return that and see what actually happens. So let's go back to Insomnia. And let's go see what's actually happening here. Can connect to server, that's fine. we want to serve. This is one on 8,000. That's going to give me a 404. Products. This is giving me all of the data I could possibly want, which is great. Question mark. Search is, let's look for something random here. Something like, we need to fix this. That. We've got one result. Search is nothing. We got everything. So that's our read database working. But we want this to be clean and nice. So we need to go and create a make resource product resource category resource supplier resource and warehouse resource. We need all of these resources so that we can build it out nicely. So come down to HTTP resources. Let's start with category. We can declare some strict types here. Make this final. Add a comment so that our property read category as resource. We want this to be an array, so we know that ID is going to be this resource get key. So open that up there. Name, status, description, nothing too crazy. This resource name, description is this resource description. That's all we care about on the category right now. So let's go over to the supplier resource. Once I've done these resources, I'm going to call it a day because I do have several meetings this afternoon. I need to be ready for property read supplier as the resource. And for the supplier, we will just have ID, this resource get key. Always do that. Come over to supplier, name, website, email, and reference. We're just going to literally do all of it for now. So we're going to have this going on. This resource name, this resource website, this resource email, and reference. From there, we done the warehouse resource? Not yet. So we can quickly add that one. So property read warehouse resource. Declare some strict types. Make this final. Got that. And we always want the ID. Always going to need that. So warehouse, all we want, name, email manager, status and address. Let's just drop that in there like that. Supplier resource, again, we're just going to grab that like we did because it makes it so much quicker. So name, manager, email, status, address. And finally, we have our product resource. And we have a property read product as a resource. Delete that. Make an array. This resource get key. Then we have got all of that. Product resource, drop that in, come over to here, grab that product resource name. Ooh, that's not what I wanted. I wanted everything but that. Name, status, description, price, cost, weight, stock, dimensions. Then we got category. We will do a new category resource. The resource is this when loaded category. I'm rushing a little bit because I am running behind. Supplier, new supplier resource. The resource is this when loaded. Supplier. We cannot always want this on this endpoint, so we'll look at that next. And then warehouse, new warehouse resource, where the resource is this when loaded, warehouse. So come back over to our index controller, grab all of this. We want to return a new collection response where the data is a product resource collection, where the resource is this query. Oh, we're getting there. This is responsible, and this is then sent. Search is that. Can I, once I've searched, what else can I do? Options, paginate raw, simple paginate, when, within. Okay, I'd have to override things here. So what I would do is product resource. We're just going to say this category. We're dropping that eager loading for now, just for the sake of getting it shown, so we can make sure it works, and we can look at how we can override things later. So category, supplier, warehouse, we're looking good. Right, that is there. I think that is the start of that one. I'm going to call it a day there. It's a little bit shorter than usual. Hey, see, I've got an interview in a minute. Git add, git commit, starting the catalog service. So eventually what I'd probably like to look at there is getting stuff back from mainly search itself. could we just use mainly search and just get that data? Instead of using Eloquent, can we just query straight against mainly search and return that as a response? Okay, I've got to shoot because I've got meeting after meeting for the next hour, but I wanted to say thank you for tuning in. Good morning, good evening, good night, good day, good whatever time it is. Stay awesome, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Bye-bye.